I want to commit suicide. I'm looking for some poison. Right? I don't know where the pharmacy is. My gut feel is the pharmacy is on the left. I Google to find out where all the pharmacies are in my neighborhood. I also call up my best friends to ask where the pharmacies are. And my question is, where is the nearest pharmacy? And my question is, where is poison available for the cheapest? And Amazon comes and tells me there is a big discount on exotic poisons. But am I even asking the right question? Is it about where the pharmacy is located? Is it about where I would get the most economical poison? Or should the right question be, is life worth living? But that question is never answered because it is never asked. Google will tell you only what you enter in the search box. People will advise you only what you ask them. There is hardly a person who can go beyond his brief and expand the scope of the answer beyond the question. Most of your advisors won't do that. Their answers will be in the same dimension as the question. It requires somebody very, very loving and risk-taking to give you an answer you never asked for. You see, even when we seek advices, we actually limit the scope of the advice. We tell the other person, we want the answer in yes or no. We want the answer only about this topic. I want the answer only in my context, my own framework. What if the context itself is wrong? What if the framework itself is of ignorance? No answer will be then good enough. All answers will just lead to your eventual demise. So learn to ask the right questions. Why am I going for this? Why am I dropping this? Why am I picking this? That would seem very taxing to begin with because we are accustomed to unconscious behavior. In unconscious behavior, we just go by our impulses, and the mind has developed that habit. Consciousness appears like a burden. Asking questions appears like a put-off. You just were about to plunge into pleasure of some kind, and suddenly you are reminded to ask a question. And the question is a put-off, because now you cannot dive into pleasure as you probably wanted to just a minute back. But these questions are important because your life is important. Career too is important only because life is important, no? If you are already dead, would you want a career? No? You can have a life without career, but you cannot have a career if you are dead. So it's obvious which of these is more important. Spirituality is not about having no career and running away to the jungle. Spirituality is about having the right career. Gautam Buddha himself was a startup founder, a manager, a leader, an entrepreneur, a statesman, an evangelist, all rolled into one, no? Or did he have no career? He had a great career. He founded a huge Sangh, an organization. So the career is there. The question is, what kind of career you are choosing? Is there alignment between your deep inner need and your outer occupation? Your outer occupation has to be aligned to your inner need. Is there an alignment? And if there is no alignment, what are you doing in life? Gut feel, you talked of, that gut feel is a very conditioned thing. So, gut feel can be right, gut feel can be wrong, it can help you, it can delude you. Gut feel just comes from the accumulation of your past experiences. It has some value, obviously, but it is not something you can just rely on. You have to rely on the right questions. And those who have a stake in keeping you in bondage will not encourage you to ask the right questions. The HR person interviewing you will not want you to ask uncomfortable questions, right? You ask uncomfortable questions, you drop the offer. She does not want that. But you must know what is important to you. Once you are dead, you won't be checking in, right? Once you are dead, you won't be reporting for work. And there is only one life that you have. So be very careful.